Wanted to thank our great sponsors of this program, Roberts Motors, great members of the community and great sponsors, great supporters of the radio station and great supporters of Business Over Brew. This month on the radio, they had St. Louis radio legend and Big Z afternoon show host The Smash voice their commercial. So I thought in honor of that, I would do my best Smash impersonation and voice the commercial that they're running on the Big Z this month. So here goes. Hey, it's Smash here to tell you about, let me start that over.
Smash here with some smashing deals on new Fords from Roberts Motors Ford. Starts with you texting SMASH to 96300. When you do, you'll get your best and highest trade-in value. You'll see if your deal can be done with zero down. And most importantly, you'll find out if you're approved. You're eyeing a Ford Escape, a new 2020 F-150 pickup. Text SMASH to 96300 for your smashing discount. Roberts Motors Ford in Alton or at robertsmotors.com. Additional texting charges might apply. Check with your mobile service provider.
How was that? Welcome to Business Over a Brew. Pleased to be joining you this time from the Miller King Law Firm here on State Street in Alton. Great spot here in their basement, and just a really cool spot to do the show. Normally we're at the Great Rivers Tap and Grill out at the Best Western Premier, but due to some COVID-19 restrictions, we're unable to shoot it there this time, and we'll be back there as soon as we possibly can. If you have a chance to go and do some business with them, be it carry out or whatever it may be, please do so. Let's try to keep our local businesses, give them as much business as we possibly can during the COVID-19 lockdown. They're really obviously having more difficulty than most during this time, so keep them in mind. If you want a great meal, head to Great Rivers Tap and Grill out at the Best Western Premier. Really happy to be joined on this episode of Business Over Brew with my friend Tom Lane. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great, Nick. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. Tom and I have known each other for several years now, and he's been a great supporter of the Big Z, so we certainly appreciate that. Tom's a State Farm agent out in Bethalto, but that's just kind of a little bit of part of the story. Tell us a little bit about, let's start with just younger days of Tom Lane. Tell us about your family life growing up, and where did you grow up?
Well, I kind of grew up all over the place. Down here for just a little bit, then we moved up north into central Illinois, and then up near the Quad Cities is where I finished high school, and then came back to Bloomington to go to central Illinois to go to ISU, got my degree there, and that's where I worked. I was an educator for a few years, and then got hired at State Farm as a claim rep, gosh, I want to say after 8 years of doing that, I decided I wanted to take the leap into agency. So January 1st of 2007, opened the doors of the place in Bethalto.
So 13 years, coming up on 14, I guess.
Starting my 14th year, yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. That's,
yeah,
right. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in the Lane household.
Oh, it was educational. I'll tell you, my parents were both teachers. My dad was an English teacher, then he became a principal, and then my mom was a librarian, social studies teacher, PE teacher, that kind of thing. So we were the very well-read, well-spoken kids in the in the area. So I guess you probably called us nerds, But no, they were great. They were great with all four of the kids, and my brothers and sisters, are doing great as well, and just was a great childhood, great upbringing. Yeah.
So 3 siblings. Where do you fall amongst the 4?
I wear the title proudly as being the baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're the spoiled one that gets everything.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I was too. So that's probably why we get along so well.
I figured we had that. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about it. And then you decided kind of to follow in their shoes and go into the education field. Tell us about that decision, and then take us from there to what led you to insurance from that point.
Well, I always wanted to coach, and felt like I had a kind of a knack for it, and after a few years of doing it, I did develop a little bit of a knack for it. I feel sorry for those first few teams I coached. I think with any coach, you kind of feel that way. But in teaching, actually, I fell in love with that as well. I taught some special education classes, daily living skills, health type classes, and some physical education, adapted physical education. and then also taught elementary school PE as well. Then moved into coaching junior high basketball, high school baseball. I was a junior varsity golf coach for a while. So
that's a good gig.
Yeah, it was. It really improved my game, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
I'm always struck by the parallels as somebody that played sports and has coached sports between athletics and business. I think there's just so many similarities of what it takes to be good at either one. Talk about how that's played into your business.
Well, I think the biggest thing is a competitive drive, and you learn how to recover from failure, because as you know in sales, there's failures as well as successes, and you've got to be able to bounce back and realize that hey, the sun's going to come up again tomorrow, and I've got another shot at this. So, the more swings you take with the bat, the more chances you have to hit it, right? So, and the transfer of being an educator to being a business owner and having to train employees and work with employees is just so natural, because you're always teaching, and you're constantly learning, and you want to pass that along and help those that are supporting your business do well, obviously. Yeah.
So you're coaching and teaching. What led to the decision to get out of that field and go into the insurance field?
Well, after I taught, we kind of had some situations arise where we needed to move, and there was no education opportunities available to the town we went to, but they did have, State Farm had an opportunity for me to be a claim rep. So I took that job, and I did that for 8 years. 4 years as a claim rep, and then I went to the corporate office, and I kind of supervised some operations in different regions of the country, and then decided to get into agency. But it kind of just fell into it, I guess. There wasn't an opportunity to be in education when we left and when we moved, so I took the next available thing. So
I know it's pretty extensive process going into the agency, going the agency route with State Farm. Talk to us about what's involved with that and how they prepare you to open that agency.
It was I believe it was 9 months of training in different agents' offices, or we would go to a location and then be trained by experts in the area of insurance that were presenting that class, and then we'd go out to the agent's office and put it into use. There were tests that you had to pass, and if you didn't do it, obviously you're not going to be considered to move on. So I think the reason that I chose this area is my dad actually is from Brew, Illinois, which southern Illinois, and a lot of his brothers and his brother and sister moved over to the Metro East, and then my brother actually ended up in Edwardsville, and so it was there's a lot of family down here still, and it was a really good opportunity, and Bethalto was really seeing a lot of growth opportunity at the time, so it was a good time. Yeah.
What do you remember about the first day of opening the agency?
That's funny you should ask that. Well, one thing I remember is our phone systems weren't quite operational. I had a 300-foot cord going from the back of the box on the back of the building to a phone that we had in the office, and then we had one phone operating. Okay. The other thing I remember is the building was hit by a vehicle. And bless her heart, she was 90 and a half years old, and she was at the laundromat across the alleyway from me, and it was January, so it was slippery out, and she hit a ice patch, lost control of her vehicle, clipped to the corner of my building, ran over a parking block in my parking lot out into the street, and we finally caught up with her down at the ice cream shop down the road, and she was scared to death, and she was a poor thing. I felt terrible for her, but you're never going to forget that.
Hopefully she didn't say something, I don't have insurance.
Yeah. That would have been something. Yeah. And the funny thing, that was the last thing from my mind. I was just like, hope she's not hurt.
Well, outside looking in, my perception was, because I was at the radio station when you opened, that you really had a good plan when you opened up, and you kind of seemed to have it really together for a new business owner. Is that how it felt inside? Or? After
What's
after the car hit your building?
what's the phrase of the duck looks calm on top of the water?
Right,
but
yeah,
they're
underneath
paddling
it,
like crazy.
sure.
The training that they prepared me very well for processes and how to be have those processes in place. The biggest key is getting the right people in place, and I just always been very fortunate. This team I've got right now is great, and they've been with me. The shortest person, the shortest tenure of any person there is 2 years. And that's good. But then I've got somebody who's been in the insurance industry for over 40 too. So if she hasn't heard of it or she doesn't know about it, it probably hasn't happened.
Right.
So, but a part of the deal is the training in the agent's offices when I came in, and I actually went out and got hired into work in another agent's office, and they were brand new too. So I learned a lot of what they were doing, and it's,
what to do, what not to do.
Exactly. No reason to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So
sure.
I took a lot of what I learned in all these different offices and kind of put them into mine, and then I went to a WBGZ seminar on top of mind awareness in advertising, and I took that to heart, and that's really kind of what I've been using ever since. As far as there's a million State Farm agents around. Why are they going to come to Tom Lane's?
Right.
So
how did your time as a claim rep or at the home office help prepare you to open your own agency?
Claims knowledge and claims experience is really valuable in what I'm doing as far as trying to educate customers on the process of how to go through a claim. So that's been real important. And the corporate office, just having that corporate knowledge of how things work back in the corporate office and how you can get things done when you need them done and that kind of thing has been very valuable. And learning the culture of State Farm. State Farm, I've kind of adopted the phrase. I know some other agents have phrases they use too, the little catchphrases, but I've always kind of used the phrase of, hey, come on board with us and see why having State Farm isn't the same as just having insurance. And it's not. And I mean, State Farm is, I've had other opportunities to go to different agencies and different companies, but I chose to stay with State Farm to be an agent. So, and it's great decision.
And I mean, even in just not that 14 years is a short amount of time, but so much change in that 14 years in terms of competition and just the way the insurance industry works. And I think, you do a really good job of telling the story of why working with somebody like you is valuable versus just a call center or whatever the case may be.
Right. Your insurance program is only as good as your agent, really, and that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what company you're with, and you've got to make sure that you're, as a consumer. Now, I'm taking the consumer perspective. That as a consumer, my agent's involved in what I'm doing, and they're worried about me having the right coverage, not just shooting me a low ball price and not telling me anything about what I have. Because you don't want a surprise come up when all of a sudden, well, that's not covered. We didn't put that on your policy. Well, you're not going to say, well, that's okay because I paid a low price. You're going to say, what are you doing?
It's great to have a low price until you have a claim.
Yeah, well, and you don't want any surprises at claim time. So one thing that we've made sure we do is we explain to our customers and anybody that we bring on board why they've got what we've got. And it's, a lot of them it sticks, but we also offer, reviews every couple years so they make sure that it stays kind of fresh in their minds because, it doesn't, you're not thinking about it all the time as a consumer. The only time you really think about it is when you get your bill and if you have a claim, really.
Right.
So, yeah.
I know you have a great team in the office, but you have a great team at home too. Talk a little bit about the role they played in your success.
It's been great. My wife was a 29-and-a-half-year State Farm employee. She started her junior year of college and was with State Farm up until March of 2018. Okay, and so she, fully understands all of it. I have 3 sons. My oldest son is 23, and then a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old, and I've been able to coach whatever teams I've wanted to coach of theirs. Been able to be a big part of their lives, and we had, matter of fact, at one point when I was just getting started and working a lot of late nights, we would have we had our Nintendo system set up in the back office in the back room for them to be playing at, so they'd be up there. At least I could, you know, have them there with me and stuff when we were doing that. But so no, they've been great. They've been supportive. Actually, a couple of them have come work for me for a little while. You know,
I was going to ask if any of them had ambitions to follow in Dad's footsteps.
I don't know. We've never really talked about it. They do. They're all studying in some area or not. They're all studying finance and marketing and that kind of thing. So I don't think we'll see any of them following in Dad's footsteps. But I think they want to go kind of different directions. So yeah. But
wrapping it up here with State Farm agent Tom Lane, if there's one thing you'd like people to know about you that maybe they don't, what would that be?
Oh my.
I saved my toughest question for
Yeah,
last.
you sure did. How much time we got? No, I will say this. I've been committed to helping this area, this Riverbend area, with whatever I've taken part in. I've ran the youth basketball organization. I've ran the youth football organization. Now part of a Kiwanis Club and Rotary, and taking turn as a president of Kiwanis right now, and doing those kind of things. But whatever I do, I've always wanted to make sure I've done the best, and that's the same way I approach the business. And if I think that my customers who have dealt with me and my team would definitely say that it shows when they come to our office and they need something done, or they have a concern or a question or a problem, because obviously things are going to happen. So we've always want to make sure we're there, and I think I've passed that along to my team, and the team I've put in place also is very committed to doing the same thing. And it's I think we work together as a unit very well, and really build up each other's strengths. So.
Well, Tom, always great to visit with you. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for coming on, for all you do in the community. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
You can call the office at 618-377-8912, or I'm on the internet, tomlaneagency.net, and my email is tom@tomlaneagency.net. So, pleasure to be here, bud.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.